I guess I could start with a little bit about me. I'm a marketing director at AdLocal. We do local internet marketing. We use a lot of WordPress, but we also do a lot of Facebook. So we focus on local internet marketing and Facebook. So let me start. Okay, so Facebook ad tracking and WordPress equals marketing goodness. That's all I could come up with for a title, but it looks like it works. So basically, WordPress is open source CMS system or blog. It's fallen more into the CMS category. And with that said, there's traffic being driven to the sites that are looking for leads or sales. There's e-commerce sites and all types of different things you could do with WordPress. So Facebook. Why should I care about Facebook? I think Facebook can drive quality traffic to your site. I still think Facebook traffic is less expensive than Google AdWords. And there's not that much competition. I mean, there's a lot of ads on Facebook, but like business owners and more people that are looking to advertise are not really using it. More corporate businesses are using Facebook for traffic. So this is actually 2014. Those numbers are in millions. So if we look at the US, Canada, it's the darker one on the bottom. That's 152 million people are on Facebook, I think monthly. I think this is monthly. So it's a lot of people. From that, there's 399 million. I think that's worldwide. I don't know if that's just the US. But mobile is very important if you have a WordPress site. So your site should be mobile friendly, meaning responsive is one way to go about it, where you have some code in there that tells the browser tells or the tablet or the mobile phone knows that the code knows that it's a mobile phone or a tablet, and it'll kind of change to respond to the device that it's being accessed from. If you're not a good designer, you don't have a theme that's not responsive, I recommend WP Touch. It's a plugin, and it allows you to take basically any theme and create a responsive WordPress site. And that's the plugin. I don't know if you could read that, but if you look up WP Touch, you should be able to find it. Okay, so Facebook, likes, what now? There's a couple of different ad approaches when it comes to Facebook. There's the direct sale, which I was saying before. Like, you can have a WordPress site that actually has e-commerce on it, and you can have a product and people buy. And then when they buy, there's a checkout. And when they check out, you go to a thank you page. So when you go to a thank you page, you can put in what's called a pixel that will basically fire up to Facebook and let it know that particular ad converted for a direct sale. The other approach is just like email list building. Like, if you have a blog and you want to keep your readers up to date, you have events, whatever, you might want to build an email list. When somebody opts in, you go to a thank you page. That's also a conversion. The pixel fires off, and it says there's someone filled out this opt-in form for this particular ad. And then there's just traffic. Like, you can just send your actual link to, from Facebook. You'll have the ads, and then you'll send a link directly to your website. And then there's also retargeting, which I'll talk to a little bit about. All right, so AdWords, which is Google's platform for advertising, and Facebook ads. What's the difference? So AdWords uses keywords. So when someone's typing in something that they want to buy, they have the intent of looking for that particular keyword. So if you see the cost, it's about $2.50 CPC, which is cost per click. So depending on the keyword, you can pay anywhere from $2.50 per click to up to $25 per click, depending on how competitive. Facebook doesn't work on keywords. It works on demographics. So when you create an ad, you basically create a persona of your customer and kind of drill down to that target. So likes, you don't get likes on AdWords, you get likes on Facebook. Likes are kind of like opt-ins for email. When you have a like, they opt into your fan page, and then if you post something, they might see it once you do a post. So demo, there's really no demographic with AdWords. There's like geo-targeting where you could focus on location, but there's really no demographics, like if it's a male, female, that kind of thing. You know, what kind of sports they're in, if they're a PHP developer, if they like WordPress. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do with Facebook ads. They both have like geos, short for geo-targeting, meaning like Facebook and Google know when you go to the browser, you have an IP address, and that IP address is usually assigned to your internet service provider. So they know that, you know, if I sign in here, they know that this IP block is for New York City. So they know I'm in the area. So that's really the difference. And like you see here, the cost per click on Facebook is a lot cheaper. Does anyone have any questions, or should I leave everything towards the end? We're good? Okay. I'll take that.
Part of the question, which is, how does IPv6 affect geo-block and geolocation? Does it work just as well?
Well, IP6, it's not new. It's been around, I think, since like 2004, 94. I know it ends with 4. Yeah, so your internet service provider has to give you an IP6. And right now, the ISPs are not dealing with IP6. It's too new. So to answer your question, if the internet service providers like Verizon, Optimum, if they start adapting IP6, then you should be able to be geo-targeted. But if they don't, then yeah, it's going to affect it because they have no way of telling, you know, what IP block.
Most people are using it for tunneling right now, right?
Yeah, they're using it more for like, I think internally, like if you have a LAN network, not necessarily on the internet.
Are phones running IP6?
No, not yet. Okay, so conversion pixel. You got with the, I guess, hands, who knows what a pixel is? All right, not too many people know, so I'll go over it. A pixel is like a piece of it's usually JavaScript, but it can be other code, but more than likely it's JavaScript. So it's a piece of code that that gets kind of I want to say ticked, but I don't know if that's a good word. So basically, like if I put a pixel on a thank you page, right, and I opt in to an email, and after that email submitted, it says thank you, and my pixel is on the thank you page, that pixel is going to send information back to Facebook saying this page was hit. So that would be measured as a conversion. So a lot of e-commerce companies do that. They'll like Amazon will have a device that's $100, and when you purchase that device, they get a pixel. They have a pixel that fires off, and it tells Amazon that that person bought this device or this product through this ad. So it's a way of tracking. So it's like once you hit that pixel, you're basically tagging that someone went to that site. So that's how you measure. Like when you measure something, you need something to measure with, and pixels basically measure your actions that are coming in from Facebook. And there's also pixels on Google, like AdWords. Pixels are everywhere. Like analytics, Google Analytics it has a pixel, and that connects to the Google Analytics platform and tells it how many hits you're getting, bounce rate, all that stuff. Okay, so So basically, you want to have conversion pixels for Facebook, because if you're just throwing ads out there and you don't have conversion pixels, you're not measuring what's working and what's not. If you've tried Facebook advertising, you might be a little frustrated because you don't know what's working and what's not. But if you want some traffic, I would take some notes, because I'm going to go over how to implement the conversion pixel on your site. Okay, so the first thing you do is you go to Ads Manager, which is, if you have an ads account, you go to Ads Manager and it'll take you to this screen. And on the left-hand side, there's a bunch of options. You click on Conversion Tracking, and then at the top right, there's a little green button that says Create Pixel. When you click on that, it creates that JavaScript code there on the right, and that's the pixel. That's what you put on your WordPress site. But if you're not advanced, if you're not doing like custom, not forms, but if you're not like developer, if you're not a developer, this is the best way to go. It's called Facebook Conversion Pixel. So it's WordPress.org plugins Facebook Conversion Pixel. When you activate it, you're going to see this. You're going to have a screen below your post or your page, and it's going to say Insert Conversion Pixel JavaScript. And that code that you created, you put in here, and you click on Insert Facebook Conversion Pixel. So any page or post that you've created you can now measure if you're driving traffic to it. So it's really cool. I think we probably should have donated this guy's to get, he created this for us, but maybe we'll go for the next one. And then this is the second part. You can activate that form for conversions with post, pages, attachments, movies, book, photo, and revisions. Usually just use it for posting, like a post or a page. Okay, so the other cool thing about pixels is that you can use them to create what's called custom audiences. Custom audiences are like segmented audiences that you're creating through Facebook. So has anyone heard of retargeting? Show of hands? Okay, about 5 people. All right, so I'll go over retargeting. Retargeting is, I don't know if anyone has gone to like an e-commerce site and you're looking at a product, and then you go on Facebook or some other site that has AdWords, and they're showing you the product that you were looking at. That's not magic. It's actually a tactic called retargeting. So basically what happens is they take that, when you go to the site, they take that pixel fires off and it throws a cookie on your browser. So when you go back to Facebook, it fires up and it shows you the product on the right-hand side or on the newsfeed. So it's basically, retargeting is just, so if you go to the site, you get hit with the cookie, and then the cookie's on your browser, and then when you go to Facebook, Facebook knows to look at that cookie and show you the ad that you came from the site that you came from. So the cool thing about that is you can create a custom audience. So if you have a WordPress blog, you can have that one pixel that whenever someone hits your site and they just go somewhere else, they get distracted, they're burning toast and they get up to run to the toaster. If they close your site, if they hit that pixel, they have a cookie on their browser, and they can then go back. While they're on Facebook, they can see your blog, and you can basically have them go back, fill out a form, do whatever you want. So this is Facebook retargeting. Like I said before, you get a cookie. The visitors, hit your cookie, and it goes on your browser. And then when they go on Facebook, they'll see the ads from Facebook. And then to do this, there's a plugin. They make it simple. The plugin is called Facebook Pixel. And basically what it does is it gives you the pixel ID. You create a custom audience, put that pixel ID number in there, and it will basically set it up on your site throughout the whole site. So whatever page they go on, you can retarget back to them. You could do more fancy retargeting, like e-commerce does per product. So they'll retarget pixels on each product, which is really advanced and cumbersome. But they have the money for it, and that's it. Again, my name is John. This is my contact information. If you guys have any questions, I'm pretty good with WordPress, so I can help you with some WordPress questions as well. And you can reach us. You can check out our website, which is also on WordPress, at adlocal.com. And if you guys want, I can take a few questions if anyone has any. Yeah.
Google AdWords has a very good rate for free for nonprofits. Does Facebook have anything similar?
Most major companies do have, like they'll do a percentage off of advertising. So I haven't necessarily worked with non-for-profit, but I would imagine it's available, especially if Google's doing it. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sure. What kind of creative stuff can you do with this? Like what you said mentioned about having someone fill out a form. Can you just elaborate a little more about some of the cool things you could do with this?
Okay. So so let's say you're building an email list, and you have the thank you page is where you would put your pixel. When you have a pixel that gets fired off to Facebook, it creates I wouldn't say custom audience, but it creates a category for that ad. So then if you wanted to expand, if you have 100 conversions and that's tracked by the Facebook pixel, you can then create a lookalike ad against those converting pixels. So like you can have ads that will automatically be looked at from Facebook's database, and they can see that you have similar customers. So I guess for WordPress, if you're building a WordPress site and you have your demographics are they like PHP, they're into WordPress plugins, and they go fill out a form, and then that conversion goes to that ad, you know that ad is converting well because you're getting leads. Then you could take Facebook's, you can do cost per conversion. So you can actually bid for conversions, and then since you know what's converting, you can then have ads automatically be, I guess, combed through Facebook. So you can get a lot of leads once you have at least 30 conversions from any ad. You can then kind of duplicate that. So you don't have to take any guesswork out of trying to figure out your demographic. But that's really what it's about. Is Facebook has the ability to hone in on demographics. So if someone, go ahead.
Can I add a cool trick?
Sure.
You can upload contact lists to Facebook. So there's apps you can get to synchronize your WordPress email database with MailChimp and Facebook. So if people are visiting your email list, reading your blog, and on Facebook, you can track them and go back and forth the whole way. So
Yeah,
if you get someone to sign up for an autoresponder, you can use that contact list, and if you know that if you use it like Infusionsoft to know their hot lead and segment them, you can amplify and target more just for that particular Facebook list or that email list.
Yeah, that's what custom audience is. There's different categories. So custom audience, that's one where you could take an email list and you upload it to Facebook, and then who's ever in that email list, they'll compare it to their database. So if you sign up with, john@adlocal.com in an email, and my Facebook is john@adlocal.com, they put the 2 and 2 together, and then they'll show me ads. Yeah, that's called that's custom list. You're basically taking an email list. If you create just a custom audience without doing that, you can actually put that pixel in your website, and anyone can just come right back. It's basically like a second chance to market to them, And that's the thing with blogging and sites. Your site is only really as valuable as your visitors. If you have an amazing blog and no one sees it, it's very difficult to kind of stay motivated to keep blogging or keep doing what you're doing. So Facebook is just, I mean, they're not going anywhere. They're public. They're sending a ton of traffic. So these are little ways that if you have a site that you want to implement, or you have a friend or a client or a cousin or whatever, you can implement some of these. And they're very simple. Like I'm very technical, so I might be, a lot of this stuff's going over your head. But if you Google how to implement custom audiences into WordPress, you can come up with some really good solutions. And I think I'm going to put this on share slide too, so you guys can take a look at it after.
Thank you.
All right.